Hello everyone, welcome back to our Meet the Family video series. I'm James Taylor, Director of Marketing here at Batson Enterprises, and today we have a little change of pace. I am interviewing Bill Batson, and today we're going to kind of learn about him a little bit.
Excellent.
So, welcome in the hot seat this time, Bill.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. You know, it's like I said, it's not about me, it's about our team. But you've done a great job putting our marketing together, James. I appreciate you very much. You're a real good team player. So what would you like to talk about today?
Well, let's kind of start at the beginning of rod building. So, what's kind of like your first memory of seeing your dad building rods?
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I grew up in Maui. Fished a lot when we were younger. We fished because sustenance, you know, we needed food. We used to go diving and get lobsters and sell them, and everything we caught we ate and kept or we sold. So fishing was part of our life. So I remember doing that for a long time. First time I saw my dad build a rod, I came home from soccer practice one day. I was 12 years old, almost 40 years ago. 40 years ago now. I know. I talk about my age that way, but yeah. Walked in the living room, saw my dad sitting on the floor with a 13-foot one-piece, I think it was a Fenwick blank or something like that at the time. It was a one-piece ulua rod. And my grandfather had made some stands for him because he was a machinist.
In the Army or something.
In the Army,
right?
yep. Yeah. And then my dad had the stand, and it was all old school. So we had encyclopedias. A lot of people don't even know what encyclopedia is now. I'm aging myself again. Encyclopedias and a cup. So my dad put the thread in a cup and put a couple of encyclopedias down for the thread tension device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's old school thread tension device. And was hand wrapping these ulua rods. And I'm like, what are you doing, Dad? He's like, well, I'm building us some new tools. Because everything is a tool. You know, back then we were financially challenged. We grew up on a cattle ranch. You don't make a lot of money. You live off the land. And that's what we did. I didn't know any different. You know, it was a beautiful place, Ulupalakua Ranch in Maui. We had private access to some beaches and some fishing areas that were just pristine. It was an amazing place. But anyways, back to So I saw my dad wrapping that first rod. And he says he's building us some better tools. And he built that rod, and then he started building a couple more, and just kind of grew from there. You know, so we had all of our rods, so now his friends wanted rods, right? And that's how it works. I mean, in any, especially this industry, you build your own, and then people say, ooh, that's a nice looking rod. Would you build me one? And then you get all your friends, and then your friends tell somebody else, and somebody else tells somebody else, and that's how you build your reputation. You know, and this was back in the 80s.
Right.
So that's the first time I saw my dad build a rod.
About how long after that did you build your first rod?
Oh, I didn't really build rods. I was I was the bait guy, or I'd go diving and get the octopus, or I'd go catch the bait, the mamo, or whatever, the popa'a, or whatever for slide bait for uluas. I never did really get into the rod building part when I was younger. You know, I didn't get into it probably 20 years ago.
Okay.
I started building, and I did it as a supplement my income.
Sure.
You know, it was something I could do in the garage. I had my own business, and I built fishing rods, and my father helped me, and Carrie helped me a lot on how to build. I mean, I have my first rod that I built still. You know, I built it for my son, Keller. He's 28 now. He was, you know, probably 8 years old when I built it for him.
Right.
So it's kind of cool, and I still have that. And within the collection, I've built a lot of rods for the collection, and I built rods for my father, and you know, I had my own custom rod shop. But I'm a quick learner, so it was really nice. And the influence I had around me, my father was a phenomenal rod builder. He's, you know, been in books, and you know, he's one of the top guys in the world for many years in regards to his knowledge and applications and componentry and blanks and all the stuff that goes along with it. And that's basically who Carrie and I learned from.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, we see examples of his rods around this office.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty cool because I have some buddies in Hawaii, and every once in a while they'll run across an old Phantom rod, and I'll tell, buy it and send it to me. And, you know, I've been able to get a collection of my dad's old rods he built in the 80s.
Very cool.
Which is really cool.
Well, what's like your favorite memory of fishing with your dad? Back in Hawaii, probably, or anywhere, I guess.
It would be back in Hawaii. It was like almost every weekend we would fill up the truck and take all the guys and we'd go down and we'd hunt and we'd fish and we would dive all weekend. And that was pretty much what we did, because like I said, it supplemented our income and it fed us. One of my favorite memories is, though, it was my 15th birthday. And Dad says, well, what do you want to do for your birthday? I said, well, I want to go fishing, just me and you, Dad. He's like, just me and you? I said, yeah, just me and you, nobody else. Let's go slide bait. I'll catch the bait. I just want to hang out with my dad, just me and you. Because there was always somebody with us, right?
Sure.
And what's cool about that trip was, not every time you go, do you catch an ulua. I mean, you go maybe 3 times and you get one back in the day. But it was one of those times that we got one. And it was amazing. So I can vividly remember it. I was catching bait over on the side and I heard the rod go off and Dad, oh, fish on, fish on. So I came running up and we're on the lava rocks. I mean, it's headlamp with the big battery pack on the side and a big headlamp. And I come running up and he goes, and he's fighting this ulua. Sure. And we're on the cliffs, and I mean, you sort of climb down to where you have to gaff it and everything. He goes, you're going to have to gaff this fish. It's just me and you. I've never gaffed an ulua before. I'm 15 years old. So, yeah, let's do this, Dad. So I got to climb down the cliff, and I had the gaff in my hand, and I'm holding onto the rocks, and I got my headlamp on. I'm shining in the water, and sure enough, here it comes. Dad's up on the cliff, and I can see the line. The line's right in front of me, and that fish pops it right in front of me. I'm holding onto the rocks like this, and I grab the gaff, and I slam that gaff into that fish, and I hook it, and I pull myself to the rock, and I remember busting open my lip. Boom! And yelling, Dad, I got it! And it was a good 40-pound ulua, maybe 45-pound ulua, which is a good-sized ulua.
Sure.
And by far one of my favorite memories. Gaffing my first ulua on my 15th birthday, just me and my dad fishing. Nothing ever will top that, for sure. Me and my dad were really good friends, and he was my hero, my idol, and everything like that. So, fondest memory by far, fishing with my father.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I got pictures of it too, which is really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's skip, I don't know, what is it, about 15, 20 years. Tell us about the beginning of Batson Enterprises.
Yeah, so we worked for another company for a while. My dad had the custom rod shop in Maui for a while. He moved to California to get away from Hawaii because in Hawaii, I mean, it's a beautiful place, don't get me wrong. I love Hawaii, I love Maui, and I love all my friends and family there. But the cost of living there is just crazy. You can never own anything. You have to be rich or you're working your butt off the whole time just to make ends meet. So my father left Hawaii and the whole family went with him. And that was in the 90s. And moved to California. He worked for another company for a while. I came to the mainland and worked for another company for a while. And 19 years ago, almost 2 weeks ago, we started Batson Enterprises. It was great. It was me, my father, Carrie, my mom, and Noreen. There was 5 of us. So, and my mom and dad, obviously, in the beginning. And my dad hired an accountant before he even hired Carrie and I. He says, well, I need an accountant because it's important. I mean, business is business. You have to have a good accountant, right? So he hired the accountant, then he hired Carrie and I. So there was 5 of us. We started up in the garage in my dad's house. We converted the garage into a component and blanks. My dad borrowed some money from somebody.
Sure.
And we started Batson Enterprises. It was, I remember fond memories of sitting on the living room floor of my dad's house and watching Carrie cut out pictures and paste them on pieces of paper and make photocopies. That was our first catalog. Now the catalogs we have nowadays are the finest catalogs in the world for what we do. But yeah, it was pretty amazing to be able to start that. And yeah, 19 years ago and 16 days today.
Old school do-it-yourself back in those days.
Yeah,
with the catalog and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. My father had a lot of influence in the industry. Right. People bought not from wherever my father worked. They bought from Bob Batson because of his integrity, and he was honest, and you could trust him, and he always steered you in the right direction. And And we still do business that way today. You know, we're not going to sell you something you don't need. You know, we want to see you succeed because, you know, it's like, I tell the story all the time. Guy comes up to me and goes, Bill, I got $1 million. I want to be in the fishing rod business. Let me give you this $1 million. I said, you know what? Why don't you give me 254 times?
Right.
And if it doesn't work after the first 250 or the second 250, you keep the other 250 or 500 because I don't want your money like that. We want to build partnerships. We want to build a future with different people. And that's why I call them our partners. People goes, oh, you're partners. What do you mean? You own part of the company? I said, no. It's more of an emotional connection. This is a relationship-based industry.
So your early role in Batson Enterprises would have been more like sales?
Yeah, I was sales, but I did everything from...
Sure.
I did purchasing. That was one of the toughest jobs. I have my purchasing agent now in that office. It's a tough job.
Right.
So I did purchasing, I did sales, did everything from packaging. I mean, we did everything back in the day.
Only 5 of you. So.
Yeah, but my main focus was purchasing. I'm a numbers guy.
Okay.
I see numbers. I'm a numbers guy. You know, I'm not the smartest guy, but I see numbers, you know. And I see opportunities. I try to be a visionary like my father was. He was a very good visionary in regards to what the future is going to hold or how we should move and what directions we should move in. And that's why I believe I'm the coach of this team.
Sure.
Because I always promote team.
Right.
So
definitely. You always talk about the team.
yes.
You know, put the team forward and everything whenever we talk and stuff like that. So, well, let's get back to you a little bit personal stuff as well. So what is like the fish for you? The one that gets you pumping, gets that blood pumping for you?
Well, I like tuna fishing.
Of course.
Offshore tuna fishing. You know, I don't care if it's albacore or bluefin or yellowfin or, you know, yellowtail is always a good one. But, you know, I do like the offshore fish. You know, I like the bottom fish. I mean, up here we get our halibut and, you know, and our steelhead. Obviously, those are good rush fish. And but yeah, I do like to fish for tuna.
Anywhere in particular, like your dream, or what's your dream place for tuna, or your favorite?
Yeah, high on my bucket list is Christmas Island.
Sure.
You know, my dad went to Christmas Island in 1985 with a bunch of his buddies. They got an old 8mm film of it, and they put it on disc for me, so I have it. I've got a mount, an 80-pound olua that my dad caught off the beach on Christmas Island. I would like to go replicate or do something like that. Take a handful of buddies, you know, take my cousin, Eric Noguchi, Shane Courtney, you know, a bunch of group of guys that really enjoy fishing, and go to Christmas Island and spend 2 weeks there and catch myself a big GT off the beach. And in the same spot my dad did it, you know, 30 years ago.
Okay.
So that would be a definitely bucket list trip for me.
Right.
And I will make that happen someday. I mean, I have the blanks, I have some of the old rods, I have some of my dad's old reels. So I would do an old retro.
Go old school.
Old school.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Fun.
that's a big trip for me. I've been planning for years. Obviously, I want to do it while I still can fight a big old lure. You know, I'm still young and I do stay in pretty good shape. But yeah, that would be one of the trips that definitely I'm going to have to do soon.
Well, besides fishing, what's a sport? Is there any sports or anything that you like or enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a soccer player my whole life. I mean, I grew up in Hawaii and I'm a Haole. So you have to stand out or be different or excel at something. So I took up soccer. I'm a goalie. No, but not too many people want to be a goalie. You're the scapegoat or you're the hero, right? And you have to be a little crazy. So I've been a goalie my whole life. I remember I started playing goalie at 5 years old. I've been a goalie for 46 years. I played at every level, but I enjoy playing soccer. I still play, you know, not as quick as I used to be, but I still can compete. I mean, I'm still one of the top goalies in this area. I coach soccer. I watch soccer. When I'm not fishing or working, that's what I do. I'll play soccer or watch soccer. Obviously, I spend time with my family. I have a beautiful wife and 3 children, 2 grandchildren. You know, then family is very important. My mother, I spend time with my mother, and anyways, that's what I do when I'm not playing. Other activity would be my soccer.
Okay, nice. Now, a lot of people in the industry know you whether it's, obviously it's all about fishing. Give us something that they don't know. What would surprise a lot of people?
What would surprise a lot of people? I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, there's things that, that we were extremely financially challenged when we were young. And we didn't have a lot of things that we have now. I mean, we're a middle-class family. We were very poor, is another word. People would go, well, haven't the Batson family always been successful? No, I mean, we have not. I mean, 40 years ago, we were living paycheck to paycheck and, scrounging, or not scrounging, I shouldn't use the word scrounging, but, living off the land. And
sure.
It was a lot different than what people see now. I mean, so I'm not sure if people would know something like that. I mean, there's other things. I mean, I made some poor choices when I was younger, that put me in some difficult situations, but that's been a long time ago. I don't make poor choices as much anymore. Yeah, everybody makes poor choices, but, so there's probably some things that people don't know.
Okay.
But,
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so back to Batson Enterprises. We just hit 19 years.
Yes.
Plus 2 weeks.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that accomplishment from the beginning, from your dad starting it to now,
Wow.
and you running it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an amazing ride, I'm just blown away by the success of our company and all the people that we get to touch, their lives that we get to touch. And, my father passed away 15 and a half years ago, worst day of my life. Like I said, me and my dad were best of friends. But I have, with the help of God and an awesome team, been able to succeed in this industry. I've seen hundreds of companies come and go. I mean, we've been around for a long time, not just under the Batson label, but under other labels also. It's been amazing. And I contributed to our team.
Right.
I push team, I talk team. We have team all over the world. We have 400 wholesale accounts worldwide. They're all partners. They're all team members of the Batson family. We have pro staff, ambassadors, we call them now, all over the world that fish with our stuff. We build personal relationships. We can trust the Batson family, our integrity, inventory. We're going to look out for you. I'm not going to BS you. A no is a no and a yes is a yes. Sometimes I have to tell people no. It's not the most comfortable thing, but at the same time, I'm not going to lie to people.
Right.
And I believe that's part of our success, But I can't stress enough our team. We have 24 in-house employees here. Everybody's like family. I mean, people like to come to work. It's not brain surgery. It's not something somebody's going to die from or anything. We're in the fishing industry.
Sure.
This is a recreational industry. People can go and buy and sell, from a lot of different companies. But we're the most successful in this industry for a reason.
Right.
I mean, nobody sells more blanks than Batson Enterprises. We have more OEM accounts than anybody else in this industry. And there's a reason why, So, like I said, I can only talk about my team and how well they do and our faith.
So what do you see now, 19 years, going on 20? What does the future hold? Or what do you hope for?
I hope to continue to grow this company.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to be able to walk away in 15 years and know that it's going to go for another 50 years. Mm-hmm. The industry changes. Things change. My job is to make sure that we continue to move forward. Different ideas, different directions, different things happen. I mean, things change. Look at this company 10 years ago. Nobody even knew who we were because we never did any marketing. I mean, we only started marketing maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah, 5, 6 years
ago. Yeah, 5, 6 years ago. I mean, we had a nice catalog, but we're behind the scenes company.
Right.
We're a wholesaler to the OEMs, to private label companies, to, and now as we continue to market and build our label, business continues to grow. but you know, there'll be different avenues of business.
Right.
I mean, if I can make money selling a widget that holds open my door of my fishing boat, I will sell widgets.
Right.
You know, I will make it happen, and I will continue to grow this company. Like my father said, we'll never get rich in this industry, but we'll live comfortably. We get to do what we enjoy, and we get to feed families, and that's my main focus for my team. I'm like a player coach, right? I'm the first one here. I practice the hardest. I'm the last one to leave, but I'm part of the team. You know, I'm not a CEO that sits on his butt. I go to shows. I help set up the booths. I do all that kind of stuff, you know.
And I can witness that. You know, I've seen you. You're in here working every day, and here before me and everybody else.
Yeah, I get it quite often. I'll walk into little tackle stores because I like to travel and I like to see our customers and our partners. Right? I've heard it many times. What is the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company walking into my little tackle store to talk to me about a $1,000 order? My father always said, everybody counts. Everybody counts. I don't care if it's my $500,000 account or if it's my $3,000 account.
Right.
I treat everybody the same. Everybody's family. Everybody's a partner with Batson Enterprises.
Very nice. Any final words?
No, I'm just looking forward to the future. We'll have some more videos.
Right.
We're going to be showcasing some of our other team, product videos. This is the wave of the future, is the people see it, you know, and I'm looking forward to what you come up with.
Oh, definitely. We've got more planned, and thanks for checking in. You got to know a little bit more about our CEO, Bill Batson, and yeah, that's it, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Take care. Fish on.